Welcome to Board Gems. In this video, I'll be comparing two editions of the same Alan Moon and Aaron Weissblum game. It was first released as Capital, with an O, in 2001 by Schmidt, and then in 2009, the first English edition from Z-Man Games, Skyline 3000. Here they are side by side. Capital is in a pretty standard long box, like games you might see from companies like Ravensburger or 2F, 2F Spiele, Amigo. Very standard long box. And on the right, of course, Skyline 3000 is also in a standard box. This is a Ticket to Ride style box. Very standard square that many games come in nowadays. Here are the backs of the boxes. Capital shows more or less a game state, but with components and other vaguely Roman-like things kind of just splayed over the surface, and it's placed on dirt or stone, so it really makes you feel like you're in ancient Rome, I guess. Skyline 3000 has a couple of misses, in my opinion. I mean, you have the sort of orange diagonals, which I guess is helpful for the theme of construction, but it makes the back of the box, where you want to show a lot of information, it makes that informational box unnecessarily small. And a very large paragraph of text just doesn't really show much of the game itself. And what it does show of the game is also straight down. So the 3D aspect doesn't really come out very well. There's not much to say about the insides of the boxes. Very simple cardboard inserts. Capitals has some design on it, but it's also much thinner. Don't know how to compare the rule books. Of course, Capital's rule book is in German. I mean, it's fine, I guess. It doesn't have a lot of diagrams, I suppose, but all the information seems to be there. Then you have Skyline 3000, also a lot of text, more diagrams, but it's also this trifold. I'm not a big fan of trifold rule books myself. Look at the size difference of these boards. I love a big board. Feels a bit more deluxe. The building squares in Skyline 3000 are also bigger, although the blocks are not any larger. What that does mean is that the blocks don't cover up the colors. You can still see the colors very clearly when the blocks are on the board. The colors of the districts really stand out in the newer edition. They were a little subtle in the old. There is a misprint in the score track for Skyline 3000. Instead of 95, it shows 65. Sometimes game manufacturers do this as a sort of a nod and a wink to an earlier game, and there was in fact a misprint for the first German edition of Ticket to Ride, also from Alan Moon, around the 95 mark. But if it's a reference to that, it's a strange one. You'll notice in Skyline 3000, each district has one additional small building area, and that's to accommodate the only rule change, which are the addition of billboards. Here are the blocks, as well as the roofs. You'll see in Capital, the player colors are standard primary colors. They did a bit more colorblind friendly colors for the players in Skyline 3000. The angled roofs are taller in Skyline 3000, but the blocks themselves are slightly thinner, about the same width, gray instead of natural wood. Cardboard pieces on the top left and top right are the start player markers. Bottom left, bottom right are fountains/green areas. And in Capital, in the middle, from bottom to top, there's the amphitheater and the temple. The former are in the first two rounds and allow you to draw more cards if you are leading or close to the lead in the corresponding district, and the temple doubles the points. Those come in later. In Skyline 3000, these are replaced with the spaceport and the Mega Mall, and I always mix the two up. I don't remember which gives you extra cards and which gives you extra points at the end. Thematically, I could see reasons for both. I should note that Capital's cardboard is very thin. Skyline 3000's is a more normal thickness, more normal than you might see today. Capital's cards are small, Skyline 3000's are large, kind of a normal playing card size, I suppose. There's 3 different types of actions you can do with the cards, from left to right. It's get 2 blocks, build in a district, and build a roof. And the artwork isn't super clear, I find, in Capital. Like this one, this is for the roofs, and it's obvious it's for the roofs if you compare to the one where you get 2 blocks. There's very obviously 2 blocks in that card. So when they're side by side, it's obvious, but when you're just seeing this card alone, you might not realize that it's for a roof. You have to kind of look at it and go, okay, yeah, there's kind of an angle here. Without anything to compare it to, it's building, right? And there's 2 building actions. Very clear in the Skyline 3000 cards. In the auction, players will arrange their hand of cards with a stop card somewhere in the middle, and then they reveal the cards on the top and keep revealing until they reveal the stop card, and that's their bid. The capital cards are in the different player colors. Fine, but not necessary. They didn't bother with that in Skyline 3000. And here are things that are unique to either game. This is the most notable thing about Capital. It's their attempt to make a thematic score tracker. Each player has their own as a column, and you slide these columns up and down to show the current score for each player. The more points you have, the taller your column is. And sure, it's thematic, okay, but it's a big pain in the butt to use this. You have to push down kind of hard on the overlay so that when you're sliding one column, you don't accidentally slide any of the other ones. And even a tiny little slip is going to affect things because you'll see the numbers are really small, the notches are very small. You're not going to want to use this. Trust me. It's a normal score track in Skyline. Skyline is almost identical except with one rule change, and that is these billboards. Each player gets a couple. Each player starts with 5 points and can pay a point to put a billboard on the board, which does 2 things. One is it adds points to the district while the billboard is there, but also it kind of reserves the spot. So later in the game, you can pay another point to replace a billboard with one of your buildings. Each district has 1 extra space to accommodate this rule change. And each player also gets a player board/aid. These come in the 4 player colors. They have spots for 6 buildings. And on the bottom is a little player aid. Shows the 4 phases of a round: construction, auction, scoring, moving the score marker, and drawing cards. Thank you for watching older games like Capital and Skyline 3000, because that's also not super new now. Don't stop being good just because. Take care.